Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to Astrology with Georgie. In this video, we are going to be discussing the upcoming solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. We're in between eclipses right now. So how is everyone feeling? What has been happening for you? Please let me know in the comments. The energy has been pretty crazy for the past few weeks. But we've got one more eclipse to come and I'm going to be explaining exactly what that means for you in this video. Now, before we get into it, if you do get value from this, please like the video. Feel free to share it with anyone that you feel may benefit from watching this. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content from me. And if you would like your own personal chart read, I do a variety of readings for all budgets. Please take a look at the information on my page. I am on TikTok as Georgie Ogden 444. I'm on Instagram as Georgie Ogden Astrology. And I'm also now on Substack, which you can subscribe to for free, which is also my Substack will be linked in the description box for this video as well. So you can join me on there if you choose to enjoy written content. So listen to the intro, guys, because I'm just going to explain a little bit about the energy, the general energy of this eclipse. So I don't want you to miss that. And then you can fast forward to your sign. Rising sign, as always, will be more accurate and literal. However, do listen for your sun and your moon as well. This is a solar eclipse, so the sun and the moon are involved. So it's always well worth listening to all three and just see kind of how things resonate. So a solar eclipse is when the sun and moon come together. So it's like a new moon. It is a new moon. It's still a new moon, but it's a very important and karmic new moon because it's within 15 degrees of the North Node. Now, this is happening in Aries. This is actually the final eclipse that we're going to be having in the sign of Aries in this cycle. So what has been happening, what has happened in your life over the past 2 years? These eclipses in the Aries Libra axis of your chart started in 2023 and the North Node moved through Aries. So you will have seen some big shifts in that area of your life in some way. This may have been more prominent for the cardinal signs that if you have your big three in Aries, Libra, Cancer or Capricorn, this would have been more prominent for you because it would have been happening in one of your angular houses. However, even if you're not one of those signs, you will have seen shifts in the Aries section of your chart. You would have seen changes because the North Node has been moving through, and this is the final eclipse. Now, it's another solar eclipse, which is another new beginning, which is very fitting because Aries is all about fresh starts and new beginnings. Now, it's out of sign to the North Node because the North Node has now moved into Pisces, which is why we are going to start experiencing, and we have just experienced, a lunar eclipse in Virgo. And so the eclipses are now shifting fully into Pisces and Virgo for the next 18 months, 2 years. So this really is the last, not the last chance, but the last part of this story for you. Now, it's a partial solar eclipse, so it's not as strong as a total solar eclipse. However, solar eclipses are very, very powerful. The sun, the moon, and the earth are coming together in alignment in the sky. So this is why eclipses are so important, because we as humans are being nudged back into our own alignment. So this is where we see shifts, endings, beginnings, major beginnings, and it's all karmic because it's the North and the South Node that are involved, and in this particular case, the North Node. We are being accelerated towards our destiny. We are being pushed towards stepping outside our comfort zone, doing what we're meant to be doing. And that is the whole point. The North Node and the South Node, this is our soul's purpose. This is our destiny. The North Node is our destiny. And the North Node can be kind of chaotic. It's the head of the dragon. So imagine, this fiery dragon head, like roaring towards its desires without necessarily a plan. It's just kind of impulsive, acceleratory. I don't think that's a word. I'm going to make it up as a word. It's acceleration towards where we're meant to be going. So sometimes, because this is a new moon eclipse, you may feel just like you're just doing stuff without necessarily having a plan, because you're being pushed towards what you're doing. So what has happened in the Aries section of your chart? What changes have you seen? Because this is another part of the story. Now, going into the details of the actual eclipse. So it's happening at 9 degrees of Aries. So this is the first decan of Aries. 9 degrees is a Sagittarius degree. So there's some element of this to do with wisdom, with growth, with having faith, and with adventure for some of you. Sagittarius is a positive sign, and it's all about just going after our heart's desires. And I think that's very, very fitting for Aries as well. And being in the first decan, this is a Mars-ruled decan. This is about action. This is about creativity. This is about going after something. And I'm going to read you the affirmation for the Two of Fire, or the Two of Wands in traditional tarot. And it's quite a positive tarot card associated with this decan of Aries. So Two of Wands, Two of Fire, it says creative planning for the future, mapping progress, trusting in the unknown, spirit-inspired ambition. And I also think that's very fitting for Sagittarius, being the 9th degree as well. Whenever I can't see how my dreams will coalesce into form, I can trust in the process of co-creation and engage more deeply in the process of envisioning something new. I have already started to make progress, and soon my passion will attract the perfect situation for me. So I think that's also very fitting that obviously, you know, we've had big changes in the Aries section of our chart so far, but there's almost like that's one extra nudge. There's something else coming for us. The light of spirit helps me see the way and feel the universe aligning to bring me what I need. So I love that. So that's a positive element to the eclipse. Now, we want to look at, so first of all, it's important to note the other energy going on right now, because we've got Mercury retrograding, we've got Venus retrograding, and actually by the time of this eclipse, Venus will have retrograded back into Pisces, so she's actually not in Aries anymore, but Mercury is at 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees is all about something new, a new idea, but Mercury retrograding at the same time is kind of suggesting that this new beginning, something is being worked out. There's an uncertainty, a reworking, a redoing of something, the details. Maybe, you know, this is going to look different for everyone depending on your own personal chart. But just the fact that we have got Mercury retrograding at the exact same time, there is an element, and Venus retrograding, there's an element of not being able to quite move forward yet. So you just kind of have to hang in there. And with eclipses, and again, it depends on your own chart how potent this is for you. But sometimes we can see something happen around the eclipse, 2 weeks before, 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks before, 3 weeks after. But other times it's more subtle and it will develop over the 6 months. So it really is different for everyone. You'll have to take note and see if you can notice something happening over the next 6 months. But with these retrograding planets, there's an element of reworking something and not just being able to move straight away, because something is being reworked. So we're being called to have patience, even though Aries is not a very patient sign. Now, the ruler of this eclipse is Mars, and Mars is over here in Cancer. And so this is the part that I don't really like. I don't like the fact that Mars is ruling this and it's in Cancer, because Mars is in its fall in Cancer. It's very emotional in Cancer. It's emotionally explosive. Cancer is the sign of the home and the family. So for some people, there's an element of things to do with family issues or beginnings or changes within the home, within the family, within how you feel, the things that you nurture, the things that you're looking after in your life, how you protect your family. There's going to be some themes of this coming up associated with this eclipse in some way for some of you. Mars is also squaring Chiron. Again, I don't really like that, because there's an element of vulnerability. Now, because Mars had been retrograding in Cancer, this isn't the first Chiron square that we've seen. And this could be showing up on a more collective basis, things out in the world. So take note of what's going on in the news. You know, Aries is a fire sign. It's combative. It's war. With Mars squaring Chiron, I do think we're going to see more, you know, things to do with perhaps people having to flee their homes, or unnecessary hurt and pain to do with people's families with the square to Chiron. In your own life, it will kind of depend on where this is happening in your chart. But there is an element of a vulnerability here. So whatever is going on for you in terms of the new beginning, there can be an element of you want to spring into action, you want to put the change in, you want to move forward, but you feel vulnerable. You have to work through something. There's a highlight of vulnerability with the square to Chiron. However, Mars is being supported as well. You know, it's a sextiling Uranus. This is about change and breakthroughs and innovation. So that's really exciting. It's also trining Neptune. So there's an element of creativity. There's an element of, you know, using our intuition when we are moving forward in this new direction. There's an element of healing energy for some of you. Whatever you're moving towards, you're being encouraged to heal and let something go with the trine into, and actually it's trining Venus as well, in Pisces, which is about healing and releasing and letting something go. And the eclipse is directly tied into that. What can you heal? What can you let go of as you transition into this new beginning? Maybe your new beginning is involving healing other people in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, it's going to look different for everyone. And the eclipse, and then also Mars is sextiling. So it's sextiling the South Node, trining the North Node. So that's also positive. So there's a direct connection between you putting your energy and your action into this new beginning, and Mars is supporting that. Mars is encouraging you. It's saying, yes, come on, be brave, be courageous. You can assert yourself. It's in the sign of Cancer. So there is going to be some emotional involvement or an element of listening to your intuition. I think you can take from this. Listen to your intuition. Although we don't have control when it comes to eclipses, things just happen because it's our destiny. You can also, you know, whatever you're moving forward, whatever changes you're making after the retrogrades are over, use that intuition that's coming from Mars in Cancer, putting action into things that feel right. So how does it feel in your body? Cancer rules the body. So how does it feel when you're moving into this new beginning or you're experiencing this new beginning? Listen to those cues that you're receiving from your body when you're moving in to these new spaces. Okay, so that is and I think it's also worth noting that, you know, there is still a lot of energy in Pisces. So yes, we've got this new beginning, and we're about to move into, so the eclipse is happening on the 29th. So obviously we've just had the spring equinox. It's now Aries season. So actually, you know, it's like Happy New Year. Boom, eclipse. Not only is the sun moving into Aries, there's an eclipse here. So a lot of people are going to be starting something new. It's kind of timed quite well in the sense of Aries is about starting something new anyway, and we're coming in with a bang with this eclipse. So it's like, right, here you go, off you go. But it might not be, like I said, until kind of April, mid-April, when Mercury is direct, Venus is direct. I think Venus goes direct on the 12th, Mercury just before that. So yeah, April is when you may start seeing new beginnings in some way, or just gaining a bit more clarity. But the Pisces activation, you know, Saturn's still in Pisces with the North Node, is coming up, you know, is coming up to join Neptune in Aries soon. Neptune's going to move into Aries soon. So there's an element of Pisces letting something go, healing, trusting in your intuition, feeling creative, doing something creatively before you move into this new chapter of your life. And then Neptune and Saturn are both going to move into Aries. So there's an element of dreaming big, feeling imaginative about something new in your life, and Saturn coming along and saying, right, well, you've got to put your dreams into reality in some way. So a lot going on, and it's an exciting time. But eclipses can be a bit wild. So make sure that you are looking after yourself. And let's not forget that this is a new moon. So energy is lower around the new moon. The moon loses its light. It's a time of going within. And even though it's Aries, we just need to nurture our bodies, whether that means go for a gentle walk. Aries is an action related sign, but don't feel like you have to be doing loads around this time, because new moons, the energy is not there and it's an eclipse. So we just want to kind of go within, be within, meditate if you can, and see what comes up, and just let things unfold naturally over the course of the coming weeks. Okay, so I'm going to run through the signs now. I'm going to start with Aries being the first sign of the zodiac, and then I'm going to run through to Pisces being the last. Make sure you listen for your sun, your moon, and your rising sign and piece them all together. And be sure to let me know in the comments if you can feel this brewing, if you know what's happening. Some of you may, this is already beginning, something's already happening. So let me know in the comments what it is, and enjoy the horoscopes. So for Aries, this is very much impacting you as a person. This is big shifts and a very big new beginning coming for you over the next few weeks, next few months. And this beginning is meant for you. This is something that your soul has chosen to do. This is what the universe is sending you based on previous actions. You know, this is karmic, this is your destiny, and this is how you are going to grow. So a new moon solar eclipse in the first house. This can impact any part of your life. The first house is connected to our identity. It is everything in the first house is you. Anything associated with you, with your body, your physical appearance, your health, the way you look, the way you approach things, any aspect of your life. So this can be anything to do with your family, your job, the way that you think about things. It's all aspects of yourself, and there's a new beginning for you here. Now, you've been rethinking something with Mercury in your first house, retrograding in your first house. Maybe you've been rethinking something about the direction that you're heading in. You know, this could be where you live. This could be something to do with your family, who you are as a person, something to do with your job. All of these things are possible. You're rethinking, you know, maybe how you communicate, your relationships with other people, anything associated with you. There's been a rethinking process. And this new moon solar eclipse is activating a new beginning for you. With all this energy in your 12th house, you are releasing subconscious tendencies, self-sabotaging behaviors. Your dreams may be quite active with, you know, Venus is now back in your 12th house. Neptune is at the 29th degree. So pay attention to your dreams. You are really kind of releasing and letting go of something before a very, very important new beginning for you for the rest of this year, and definitely from 2026. A new identity is being born in some way. So do you have any placements around the 9-degree mark? So anything from kind of 7 degrees of Aries to 9, sorry, to about 11 degrees. The eclipse is happening at 9 degrees. So anything up to 11 or 12 degrees. So where's your ascendant? Where's your sun? Where's your moon? Is this eclipse touching it closely? Because you will feel this more strongly. And so you need to kind of ask yourself, okay, what planets do I have here? Do I have anything around this degree mark? And therefore you'll be able to tell if something is impacting you on a personal level. So with the ruler of this eclipse being in your 4th house, this is directly tying in your family, your home, your living situation. So there can be something new brewing with those topics. Where do I live? Who do I live with? You may have gone through a process of actually readdressing these things or having to sort something out in this area with the Mars retrograding in Cancer. Some conflict within the home, maybe a loss because it's Mars. This will look different for everyone. Reevaluating your home situation or conflict within the home. This can also be things like having to fix things within the home, that things, lots of stuff has come up for a lot of you with Mars in the 4th house. But this eclipse being ruled by Mars is now offering you a new beginning for that's going to start unfolding over the year, but it's directly connected to where you live or the people that you live with or your home environment in some way. Or this can show up around a family member, because the 4th house represents our family members. So there's going to be important new beginning for you in terms of probably home related matters, where you live, all of the things I've just said. I don't need to repeat myself. So you're working something out with the retrogrades, you know, who am I, what's my identity, and then you are going to be moving forward, and the new beginning is going to unfold over the next few months. So let me know if you know what this is. Let me know, Aries, what's been going on since 2023 and how have things changed for you? And I'm going to pull you a card. You guys get the Emperor. Beautiful Lion, the Emperor card. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for this card. It's a major arcana card, so it's big changes coming for you. Authority. Following the rules right now is exactly what I should be doing. People in authority come to my aid and give me good advice when I ask for it. I can have the strong confidence that this card suggests. Dealings with institutions like banks, governments, or schools are also highlighted at this time. So that sounds kind of like a serious card, but it's almost like you are being asked to sort something out or take authority of your life is what I'm getting from that. Like it's so beautiful. I love that card. You are in charge. You were in charge of your own life, and you are stepping into a time where you are the main character. You are the main character with all this energy coming up. And I feel like that card is showing that yes, you can ask for help. You might need authoritative help. So for example, if you're moving house, if you're having to deal with kind of big life changes, you may need to ask for help from others, but really you are the authority of your life. And I feel like that's kind of the message that I'm getting from that. So let me know in the comments if you know how this eclipse is playing out for you, and I will see you in the next one. Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. So you are experiencing this solar eclipse in Aries in your 12th house. So the 12th house is an interesting one because it's a lot of things, but a lot of the time we don't necessarily notice it straight away because it's our subconscious. So you would have been having eclipses here over the past, so it's since 2023. So maybe, do you know what's happened here, Taurus? Do you know what's changed so far with your self-undoing, your self-sabotaging behaviors, how you limit yourself, addictions? This is the house of loss and endings, but it's also the house of spirituality, your connection to your higher self, that connection to spirit. So what changes have you seen in that area of your life over the past since 2023? Because there's now another significant new beginning here for you under this solar eclipse in Aries. So this could look like, and bearing in mind, when we're thinking about this, we're always looking at what the ruler is doing, because Mars is ruling this and it's over here in your third. So we've always got to connect the two. So the third house is about our mind. So this really could be something to do with your mental health, a new beginning for the way that you show up in the world, the way that you think, trying to focus on letting go of self-sabotaging behaviors. The 12th house is where we self-sabotage. So it's things like, having unhealthy addictions to scrolling on your phone, drinking too much. Any kind of addiction comes under the 12th house. But with the connection to the third, it's like, what are you doing that's affecting your mind? There could be a new beginning for you within your community that could have something to do with spirituality. So for some of you, it's going to be things like you're starting a new spiritual practice, you're starting something that involves connecting with others, and it's going to involve some art, some form of art healing. So the 12th house is things like Reiki, sound baths, connecting to, tapping into your psychic abilities, meditation, any form of healing. Energy healing comes under the 12th house, but it's directly connecting to your community in some way. So for some of you, this is going to be, you are physically starting a new method of healing or healing others within your community. But for others, this is going to be more for yourself on an inward level, a new beginning around your self-sabotaging behaviors, to do with your thought processes and how you think and how your mental health is impacted by what's going on behind closed doors and what's going on around your subconscious mind. The 12th house is also about letting go. What do you need to heal? What do you need to let go of? And how can you connect with others in order to do that? So how can you proactively go out and find people to connect with, find a group to integrate with and let it go? This can also be about, this is things to do with like your siblings and your relatives. So for some of you, this is really not going to be all of you, but for some of you, you may be experiencing a loss, or a sibling is experiencing a loss, or a relative or somebody is letting something go, or there's a new beginning for a sibling or a relative around confinement, hospitals. Those kind of things can come up. The 12th house is hospital, so it can speak towards you know, and this isn't the most kind of spiritual important message of this eclipse, but you can see yourself having appointments, having clinic appointments with eclipses in the 12th house, because the third house is like where we're going around, the doctors are speaking to, any form of communication. And so a new beginning here in the 12th is like, okay, over the next 6 months, perhaps you're going through something where you have to spend a lot of time in, in clinics or in places of confinement. Could be that you're working there, because this is, you know, depends on your own personal chart. Maybe you are doing a job that heals people, or a job in a hospital, or a job where you're having to connect and communicate and work out the details. But it's something behind the scenes. And this could also be something creative that you're working on behind the scenes, like a blog or writing or, you know, social media stuff, but it's involving preparation behind the scenes. Anything that you kind of do in the space of your home can show up in the 12th house, because this is kind of hidden stuff. The 12th house is also secrets, hidden enemies. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to gain an enemy, but Mars rules this, and it's in the third house of our connection. So you might start to either realize people that actually aren't your fans, or there's going to be some secrets revealed possibly over the next few months, in terms of the people that you connect with or the conversations that you are having. That's kind of the dramatic side of it, but there's something big occurring, and for a lot of you it will be something spiritual, something subconscious brewing. So you'll have to let me know, Taurus, what can you feel starting, what's going on in terms of any of the topics that I just mentioned. And you guys get the messenger of Earth, and that really jumped out. Earth is obviously Taurus, you are an Earth sign. So I'm going to read you this positive affirmation from the messenger of Earth. A lot of you are starting something. It is Aries. The messenger of Earth is speaks towards kind of a new beginning around something that you are building, shall we say. So hardworking, proceeding with integrity, perseverance and grit, prudent and careful efforts, thoroughness, industriousness, stamina and dedication. I am in the flow, committed to co-creating with spirit effectively and efficiently. I do my best and never leave a job half done. I am dedicated and determined, knowing my efforts will pay off. So it's speaking towards a lot of you starting something. So yes, it could be any of the things we mentioned about starting a spiritual practice, and always remembering that you are co-creating with the universe. And sometimes you have to put that hard work in, and it will pay off. So that card is just encouraging that for you. So let me know, Taurus, if you know, if you can feel this, what's been going on for you, and I will speak to you in the next one. Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising. So you are experiencing this solar eclipse in Aries in your 11th house. This is a significant karmic new beginning starting for you. Now, what has happened, Gemini, in your 11th house over the past 2 years? So have you had any big changes within your networks, within your friendships, who you hang around with, the communities that you are a part of, and also with your goals and what you're building towards? Because those are the topics of the 11th house, and you may already have, well, you will have experienced shifts over the past 2 years in this, in these areas of your life in some way. Now, this new moon, again, you're being offered a new beginning. Something is shifting, something is going to come up. It can be that you meet a significant friend who is part of your soul's journey, and they're going to end up teaching you something really important. It could be that you are changing friendships, because Mars rules this. Mars is in your second house of values. So maybe there's going to be a whole new beginning. We've also had Mercury retrograding here around who you're hanging around with. Who are my friends? Who are my true friends? Who is really there for me? What do I value in my friendships? And therefore, you know, eclipses bring great endings as well as great beginnings. And although it's a new moon with the North Node, we can also see endings on this. So we can see people being removed from our lives because something new is starting. So if you do find that you are falling out with people around this, then unfortunately it is part of the eclipse story, and it's meant to be, so you should really just kind of let them go. But this could also be, you know, join new communities, new projects around new humanitarian projects. So how can you be of service to other people? So this can even, you might see things show up like you're wanting to do a charity run, you're wanting to volunteer for something, or you're wanting to, help the local dog sanctuary, anything kind of humanitarian, you may see start to show up. But the main kind of point of the 11th house is all about our friendships and the networks that we're with. So organizations, clubs, groups, whatever you're spending money on as well, spending money on being part of an organization, maybe donating to charity more, donating to organizations that benefit other people. So when I'm thinking about groups, it's like, do you work in a large group of people? Do you work on the internet? It could be a new beginning for you earning money from the internet. That can definitely be true for some of you. The 11th house, sorry, that's my alarm going off, gratitude alarm. Let's all be grateful. I'm grateful for whoever's watching this right now. Yes, so earning money from the internet could definitely be a huge part of this story for some of you. So if you work for yourself, do you work on social media? Do you work on TikTok, YouTube, all of that? There can be a significant new beginning for you with an eclipse in the 11th house, especially with the ruler in the 2nd house. You're going to start to earn money from influencing a group in some way. Now, it can be group work, as in, you're actually working in a large organization. It can be that you are thinking about, what groups are important to you in terms of, are you part of a gym? Are you part of a club? Are you part of a badminton group? It is Aries, so it's physical. So it could be, what do you do? What do you do in your spare time? And does it involve any kind of organization? Or there's going to be a new beginning here for you where you will start to see, right, I'm going to go and join this club. And it's directly tied to your values or your possessions. So it could be, I don't know why I just thought of this, but like starting car boot sales, organizing car boot sales. I have no idea why that popped into my mind, but the 2nd house is our possessions. So it can be a sense of joining a group of people connected to your resources in some way. That's going to look different for everyone. But it's also like, what do I value? Working on your self-worth when it comes to how you influence people as well. This is the house of networking. So, new networks can and will start to show up for you, and clearing out the ones that are no longer aligned with you. And the retrograde is going to help you do that as well. So big shifts coming, Gemini. It could be something to do with, because you've also having the North Node and all of this action in your 10th house. For a lot of you, it's going to be, who am I working with? How am I influencing large groups of people? And it is directly connected to your career. But that won't be all of you. It will be some of you though. So let me know they're flying around everywhere. You'll have to let me know in the comments what's been showing up for you so far and how this has been affecting you so far. Okay, you guys get the 8. Ooh, the 8 of water. It's a bit of an emotional card, that one. I'm going to read the positive affirmation to you. 8 of water. Journey of discovery. Letting go and seeking a deeper meaning and greater authenticity beyond superficiality. That's interesting because also the 11th house is our goals. And so there could be a significant new beginning around what it is that you're working towards, because maybe your beliefs are shifting and you are changing and the direction of your life is changing, and therefore your goals and what you're really working towards is shifting and moving towards something, like it says, with greater authenticity. All that glitters isn't gold, and I know that I always deserve authentic riches, the gold that fills me with joy, abundance, and understanding. I fearlessly pause to re-examine where I have been, where I am, and where I might go. Now I consciously choose the path that is right for me instead of the one that seems likely to draw me onto it, or the one that I feel I ought to walk. I am true to my heart. I've come as far as I can, and I live by the wayside, the last vestiges of illusion, the last bits of fear and shame, and I will no longer hold on to what isn't right for me. Well, that's a very karmic card for you guys. You are really embarking on something new, especially with the North Node in your 10th house and Jupiter in your 1st. Big changes are coming for you. So let me know what's happening. Exciting times, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, Cancer. So this new moon eclipse is happening in your 10th house. So Cancer, what has been going on since 2023? You've probably had some big shifts in your career or your public image or your reputation in some way. You know, major changes for some of you between where you live, your career, are you working from home, big shifts. This is the final eclipse in Aries in this cycle, suggesting another new beginning in what it is that you're known for and your reputation. Now, you've been rethinking something at the moment. Things might not be clear right now, okay, because you've got Mercury and Venus retrograding in the 10th house. By the time this eclipse is happening, Venus has retrograded back into the 9th. But Mercury is retrograding here. And so there's this rethinking around, what do I really want to be doing? What do I really want to be known for? You can kind of feel a bit all over the place and not really clear on where you're headed, or not quite sure. And that is fine. It's normal. Now, the new moon, new solar eclipse is going to bring a new beginning for you in terms of your work. Now, Mars rules this, and it's in your first house. So, a lot of you, it's something to do with entrepreneurship or going on your own way. You may have already embarked on this over the past 2 years in some sense. But Mars in the first house is like, right, I'm going out on an adventure and I'm doing it myself. I'm creating something myself. So a significant new beginning coming for you, for your reputation, is like, how do you want to be known? If you are already running your own business, you know, how are you known? Something new could be coming. You could be adding something to your belt. You could be studying something and adding an extra, you know, qualification to your belt, or, you know, just adding an extra layer to your business. If you work for a company, it could be that you are changing jobs, or you're changing your role, or you're getting a pay rise, or something is shifting because you are asserting yourself. Now, be careful around conflicts with bosses, because sometimes that can come up, especially with the Mercury retrograding the 10th. You know, you're rethinking, oh, actually, what do I really want to be doing? And you are asserting yourself. Now, for others, this is going to be a new beginning in terms of, and remember, this can unfold over the next 6 months, your status, you know, how you are known. So this can be a pregnancy, changes in your body, changes in your appearance, a change in how people perceive you, but it's directly connected to the direction of your life. So for some of you, it could be that you are getting married, you are getting divorced. The 10th house is your status. And it's directly tied with Mars in your first house to your identity. So yes, it's an interesting new beginning, and this is potent because it's in your 10th house. It's an angular house, so you will feel this, especially if you have any planets around 9 degrees. Do you have 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 of any of Aries, or any of the cardinal signs? Where is your ascendant? Where is your sun, your moon in Cancer? Because this will square you, so it might not feel the most comfortable energy. You may have to work through something. But there's something shifting in how you're seen by the public, the goals that you're working towards, and a new beginning for you towards whatever you're building. And it's going to be something brand new, because it's Aries. Whatever you're building, you're being encouraged to be brave with Mars in the first. Take action, take inspired action. You know, 9 degree, it's all about just really just going out there. You don't have to be an expert before you jump into something. So you can really learn a bit, teach others. Learn a bit, teach others. You know, you don't have to be a complete expert if you're starting something new. And I think that's really important for people to know. So I'm going to pull a tarot card for you. Let me know, Cancer, what's shifted in your career and your reputation over the past 2 years already, and something new is brewing. So you guys get the six of air. Okay, slightly more challenging card, the air cards. This is the same as the 6 of swords. So there can be some tension or something you've got to work through. Okay, so it says rite of passage and a necessary change in thinking to gain greater wisdom. However turbulent the waters at the moment, I trust that if I create calm within, my outer conditions will soon be calm too. I'm conditioned to expect troubles ahead, but I've shifted my awareness and know that I can choose to believe that stepping into the unknown will bring me to what I truly desire. I am in a transition to something better. So it is suggesting, and like I said, with the square to your personal planets here, there's going to be some tension. So it could be that you want to start something new, but you're scared, you're frightened. But this card is encouraging you. you have to think positively, because you can manifest what you want. So you're co-creating. So believe that you can do it, and then you will be able to make it happen. So some work needs to be done, and you need to trust yourself, but the universe is going to nudge you, and you're going to be kind of moving forward in that direction. So good luck, Cancer. Let me know if you know what this is, what's brewing, what's been going on for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Leo. So solar eclipse, new moon in the sign of Aries in your ninth house. So the ninth house is a fun house. It's a house that trines you. So this is going to be kind of a bit more positive, I think, for the fire signs in general. Now, a new beginning in the ninth house. The ninth house is our higher mind. It's our lens of the world. It's our beliefs. It's our learning. It's teachers. It's publishing and putting something out there. So something is starting here. A new opportunity is starting here. Now, for some of you, there's something linked to a faraway place. Maybe some of you are traveling somewhere really karmic, really, a place that you were meant to go because of the North Node, and maybe you're wrapping up or you're sorting something out as you are going abroad. With the Mercury retrograde, maybe you're going back to somewhere you've been to before. But there's an element of there's something important happening. So if you are going on a trip, then for some reason this trip was always meant to happen for you, and it's meant to be a time of it's a karmic time where you're starting something new, but this is the last eclipse in this sign. So what has actually gone on over the past 2 years in your ninth house of the topics I just mentioned? Something to do with travel. Are you wrapping something up in that topic? Are you visiting somewhere that you visited before, and maybe this will be the last time you visit? That can be the case for some of you. With Mars in the 12th house, it's about going to faraway places, letting something go, healing something. For others, this is going to be about your beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, a new beginning for you and your faith, your philosophies. You're starting to change the way that you look at the world. You are developing a new way of looking at the world, a new concept of looking at things, a brand new concept. It's Aries. It's like, okay, I'm actually going to view this in a completely different way now. And it's all to do with things going on behind the scenes, subconscious things going on that no one really knows about in your mind. But there's a new beginning in terms of your beliefs and your faith and your spirituality. And actually, maybe you need to tap into this. Maybe you need to rely on this in order for this new beginning to unfold for you in some way. Now, for others, this is going to be a new beginning around something that you're learning. So if for example, if you're younger, maybe you're studying, or maybe if you're older, you're studying something, you're publishing something, you're finishing up a course. It is a new beginning. But it's because it's the last Aries eclipse. Have you been learning anything over the past couple of years? Have you been doing a course? Have you been hiring your mind in some way? This is the house of personal development. So a new beginning here for you, maybe wrapping something up, or maybe being able to move forward in something that you have learned. And maybe there's an element of teaching here. Maybe you are going to be teaching others. Maybe it's something healing, something you've been working on behind the scenes, or something that is kind of spiritual, like astrology or human design can show up in the ninth house. But it's a significant new beginning here. So it can be that you've been studying something and now you've got that final push, or maybe you've been studying something and now you're being able to teach others what you have learned. That will be true for some of you, not all of you. The ninth house is also legal matters. So there's a new beginning here for you to do with legal matters. With all of this eighth house, some of you may have been going through something traumatic, something intimate, divorce, and maybe now this is sorting out the paperwork of that. That can be possible for some of you, and you're kind of spending time healing and releasing a relationship, and you're kind of working through legal matters. It doesn't have to be relationship matters. It can be anything to do with joint finances, joint possessions, joint resources, and you're actually suddenly now having to think about the paperwork of things that you've built with a partner or something, in some way. That will look different for everyone, but the ninth house is sorting out paperwork and legal matters. The ninth house is, it's also adventure. So we mentioned travel, but it really is, having fun, adventure, exploring our horizons. I I think I've mentioned pretty much everything that it's going to be. So for some of you, you are changing your beliefs. For some of you, you are creating, publishing, putting something out there, or starting something that you are going to publish and create. And for others, this is going to be significant around travel. Teachers and gurus can show up here. So somebody that's going to help you develop your mind in a spiritual way, or help you heal something. Maybe some form of therapy can show up here as well. Someone that's going to help you, you know, like a guru, someone that is like really inspirational, a brand new thing that you've not done before, because it's Aries as well. That can also show up here, and this is going to unfold over the next 6 months, but you might know what this is at the moment. So let me know in the comments if you know. And I'm going to pull, okay, you guys get the Temptation card. It's a Major Arcana card. There's a big B in here. Now it's gone out. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is about attachment. Okay, so the material world is my playground, but I need to be careful not to be attached to outcomes. This is a warning to me to watch for excess and to know what's not healthy for me. When this card shows up, it's a sign that I am focused on the material realm, and I need to be aware of any excess or addictive behavior, my own or that of others. So for some of you, that's going to be relevant, not all of you, but what is it that you need to step away from? And what is it that you need to let go of in terms of what's really important, Leo? Because you are a sign that likes the lavish and the lifestyle, but you are being encouraged to ask yourself what's really important. And maybe this is where the mind expansion comes in. What is really important in life? Material possessions are not. And maybe you're starting to learn that through whatever's going on in your life. And this card is telling you, you need to release attachment to actual things. And maybe your beliefs are being challenged around that in some way. Let me know in the comments if that card does resonate for you. And also just let me know what's been going on, and if you know how this eclipse is showing up for you, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, Virgo. So this solar eclipse in Aries is happening in your 8th house. Sorry, I just need to drink. So the 8th house is a very sensitive house, so I'm not suggesting this is going to be an easy eclipse for you. It's a new moon as well, so this can be very low energy. This can be quite difficult on your mental health in some states. So around the 29th, just make sure that you are looking after yourself, doing a bit of self-care, because you could be feeling a little bit low around this time, a bit heavy. The 8th house is a very, very, very deep house. A new moon solar eclipse here is offering a new beginning around your own personal transformation in some way. This is also the house of joint resources. This is the house of divination, taboo topics. So, and Mars is ruling this, and it's in Cancer in the 11th house, which is connected to your goals and your visions for the future and groups and friendships. So for some of you, this is a new beginning around your joint finances. So it could be that you are coming into some money, and it's an important beginning because it's an eclipse, obviously. So something significant around your joint finances. It could be to do with a significant person in your life passing away or has passed away. So for some of you, it could be some inheritance coming in, and the ruler being in the 11th house. The 11th house is kind of one of the money houses. So for some of you, it could be that you're coming into some money to do with another person, because Mercury and Venus have retrograded back into this house. So to do with another person, could be a business partner, it could be an investment, but there's a significant beginning here for you. How have your finances changed over the past 2 years, Virgo? What's been going on in terms of borrowed money, your partner's money? This new beginning can actually symbolize a new beginning for your partner's finances in some way. It's going to unfold over the next 6 months, but it's a karmic new beginning. So if it is financial, it's going to be something that was always meant to happen, and it can be for some of you that you're a beginning around paying something off, especially with the retrogrades. Maybe there's been a rethinking around, what do I owe, what do I need to pay? And so there's a new beginning starting here for you. Or I think it is going to be something to do with coming into some money from like an inheritance or something. No, because it's an eclipse. Now, if it's not financial, and this house always makes me not laugh, but I think it's just yeah, this house is it's so interesting because it's so many different topics that just aren't necessarily related. The eighth house is our own personal transformation, our own crisis. It's trauma. It's trauma. It's fear. It's psychology. It's the really deepest parts of ourselves that we don't like to tap into in some way. So when you have a new moon here, there's an element of having to address these topics, something coming up. So addressing how you feel, addressing your thoughts. You know, what am I feeling about this? What am I thinking? Why am I thinking? Why am I behaving this way? You know, all of these psychological things about your own behavior and your own thought processes can be relevant at this time. And so you just might be focusing on how you feel and why you feel that way. It can be a beginning for therapy for some of you, you know, group therapy, group healing, any form of transformation can come under this. So it's coaching, life coaching, astrology can come under this. I like to look at it in the ninth house, but it can be the eighth house as well. But it's involving your goals or how you're going to move forward. This is also the house of conception. So you may see themes of conception coming up. This is the reproductive system. So themes coming up around that in some way over the next few months can be relevant for some of you. Yeah, joint finances, but even going back to the finance thing, it can even be like sorting out your mortgages to do with your home, because Mars is in Cancer, sorting out your joint finance. Yeah, there is a lot of you that's going to be prominence around joint finances. But going back to your own transformation, how far have you come and what transformation have you been dealing with over the past 2 years? Some of you have been going through a transformation with the eclipses having happened in these signs. And this is a new beginning for you. So maybe moving forward, maybe seeing a light at the end of the tunnel with Mars in the 11th. 11th house is like our visions for the future, forward thinking. So perhaps there's a light at the end of the tunnel, which is obviously great. The 8th house is so it is like secrets coming out, addressing our subconscious fears, addressing things that have been buried. This is the house of intimacy as well. So a new beginning around for you and a partner, or you and a significant other on an intimate basis, can be possible, maybe tied to a family member or a friendship or a group in some way, intimate connections with groups of people. So going to like a healing place is possible, because the 8th house is the house where we heal and we let go as well. So a new beginning for some of you around that. This is also the house of divination in terms of like psychic groups, mediumship, tarot. So for some of you, you are going to be seeing a new beginning, a significant new beginning, karmic new beginning around tapping into your psychic side with a group of people. And you're meant to do it because it's with the North Node. So this could look like going to mediumship classes, going to tarot classes, that kind of stuff can definitely show up here. Or just really actually having to address death in some way, whether it's addressing death because you are, you know, meditating and calling in your great uncle Simon, or you are just being around the topic of death and actually having to have conversations about death in some way. Doesn't necessarily mean a physical death, but this is the house of death. And so we are being asked to address this, where you're having conversations about death and you're talking about death more. It's just relevant in some way. And you may already know what this is, and it may already have shown up because eclipses show up weeks before and weeks after. So Virgo, let me know. And this is the last eclipse in Aries. Okay. So then you are fully moving into your time of yourself and partnerships being really significant and relevant in some way. So you got that jumped right out, messenger of water. I really feel like some of you are tapping into your spirituality with this card, or healing something, or really looking after yourself. She's so beautiful, and I love that little seahorse. Looking after yourself, but connecting with others in some way. Right, I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for that. Messenger of water, water. So romantic attraction, chivalry, admiration, seeing the best in others, heightened emotional awareness, and a call to fall in love with yourself. I need to look for the best in others and honour it when it seems a challenge to do so. My attractions stem from self-love and a knowledge that I am part of all love, which takes many forms, each exquisite in their own way. I can have what I desire. There is no need for jealousy, anger, resentment, or fear when I am love, and love flows to me powerfully. So that's a beautiful card. Really about heightened emotional awareness, like it says. And so you're really tapping in, like I said, to who you are and how you're feeling, and you're having that psychic connection in some way. So let me know, Virgo, what's going on for you. Like I said, you may already have known what this is. Yeah, so let me know in the comments, and I wish you the best of luck under this eclipse, and I will see you in the next video. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you are experiencing this solar eclipse in your opposite sign of Aries. This is important for you because it's happening in an angular house, so it's more relevant. If you have your ascendant, your sun, or your moon around the 9th degree, you'll feel this more strongly. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you're going to feel this impact to your personal planets. And if you have any other cardinal planets, you'll feel that impact as well, especially if you have them in Aries. So this is a new beginning for you around your significant one-on-one relationships in some way. So the 7th house is every single person we partner with. It's significant relationships on a one-to-one basis. So that can be romantic partnerships. Yes, it's the house of marriage. It's the house of business partnerships, but it's also best friends. It's children. It's parents. Anyone we value close to ourselves comes under the 7th house. And there's a new beginning here for you. There's something is starting. So for some of you, this is a new beginning around who you're partnered with romantically. Yes, it can be a divorce because the ruler of this is Mars and it's in the 10th house. So it can suggest a change in your status, but it could also be a new relationship. Getting married can definitely be part of this. But because this is the last eclipse in Aries out of this kind of eclipse cycle, what's been going on for the past 2 years in your relationships? Because this is kind of like the final one. So you would have already seen changes in your relationships, and now there's an added layer. So it could have been over the past 2 years, maybe you broke up with someone and now you're starting a new relationship. Or it could have been that you've had difficulties in your relationship and now this really is the final straw. It's going to be difficult, or you've turned a page. That's also possible. Put a positive spin on it. It will look different for everyone, but you have had the retrogrades. So there has been a rethinking around your significant one-on-one relationships. And this can also manifest as a very important new beginning in a partner's life or someone that's close to you. So yes, it could be like your child's or your parents' life, but if you have a partner, this can be a significant new beginning in their life. Maybe they're starting a new career and that can show up in your chart. It can be a new business partnership, a new contract, you're falling out with a friend because this is open enemies ruled by Mars. It can be, so something is starting within your relationships, something new, and you may already know what this is. Could be a new collaboration because Mars in the 10th, a new business partner to do with your career, or your relationship status is changing and that is affecting your public status in some way. But it could also be because if it's like someone important in your life, like a parent, yes, a new beginning for a parent is definitely possible. A shift in a parent's life is also likely because the 10th house is parents and this is the house of significant relationships. So for a lot of you, there's going to be a new beginning in a parent's life in some way, shape, or form. Now, what else can we say about this? The 7th house is kind of simple. Mostly it's other people's stuff. It's other people, not you. It's opposing you. So there's often the time there's elements of having to compromise and having to see the other person's point of view. For some of you, because of all these retrogrades heading back into your 6th, things are changing and you're focusing on your work and your routines, and so maybe your relationships at work could be shifting. But let me know in the comments, Libra, how this is showing up for you. And remember that this can develop over the next 6 months. So if you're not really understanding how this is showing up for you yet, just know there is still time. And you guys get the Hierophant. So interesting because the 7th house is also the people we work with, like on a one-to-one basis. So doctors, spiritual practitioners, astrologers come up in the 7th house. So who you're working with on a professional level in terms of your own healing, this is going to be relevant for some of you because of all the retrogrades back into your 6th. And this has helped me kind of realize that you are significant. You're meeting someone that's going to help you. So for example, it can be that you're working with a health coach, you're working with a Reiki practitioner, someone that's going to help you focus on your physical health, and there's a new relationship here starting for you. That's going to be relevant for some of you. So I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for the Hierophant spiritual practice. When this card appears, it reminds me to be committed to a spiritual practice to ensure a conscious contact to my higher power. When I have a daily practice of prayer and meditation, steeped in gratitude and committed to being a co-creator, life works out in wondrous ways. Rituals are now in my highest good at this time. Rituals are in my highest good at this time. Exchanging vows is also highlighted. Exchanging vows. So like I said, it could be a wedding for some of you, but you're being encouraged to develop a spiritual practice. And I think that is also related to your health houses now coming into focus over the next 2 years. So make sure that you are using spirituality if you can in order to manifest what you want and in order to heal yourself, and just kind of focus more on positive vibes, raising your vibration, all that stuff. So Libra, let me know what's been going on for you. Does that resonate? And I will see you in the next video. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. So Scorpio, this new moon solar eclipse is happening in Aries in your 6th house. This is your health. This is your routines. This is your daily work. This is your pets. Now, it is a sign that doesn't necessarily get on too well with you. Do you have any planets between like 7 and 11 degrees? You're going to be more impacted by this. There's what has been happening over the past 2 years in terms of your work and your health. How have things changed? How have things shifted? Have you been focusing on your physical health, what you're eating, your diet, your schedules, how you're being of service to others? There's a new beginning here for you. So it can be any of the things I just mentioned. It can be, well, it can be literally a new job. It can be a new job. It can be you are changing your beliefs, Mars in the 9th house, around, because Mars rules this, what you're putting in your body. Your beliefs are shifting around your health. Maybe you are developing a spiritual practice in order to better your physical health. So that looks like positive affirmations for your body, for healing your body. That can show up. The rule of this being in Cancer, you can see changes or new beginnings for your pets. So it could look like, they have to have a procedure done. Something like that can show up. But for some of you, your jobs are changing, your schedules are changing, your work is changing, how you're showing up, how you're being of service to other people is changing. Some of you might be working abroad. Some of you might be studying something to better your working skills. You're developing your skills in some way. You are continuing your professional development by learning, doing extra courses, extra study because of your work. Traveling for work, that would be cool, possible for some of you. You are, like I said, you're joining a gym, but it's because it's with the North Node. This is a significant new beginning, and it's important, and it's putting you back on the direct path. So yes, it can be a new start, a new approach towards your health matters, but that new start is a really important new start. This isn't just a normal new moon. It's something significant, encouraging you towards your destiny. This is the house of, the house of self-care and how you're looking after yourself. And there's a new beginning, and maybe you're really thinking about, how can I nurture myself? What am I doing physically in order to look after myself? Because it is in the sign of Aries, and it is offering something brand new here, a brand new approach to your health. But with the rule of being in Cancer, but in your 9th house, it is like you are expanding your mind around topics. Maybe you're kind of thinking outside the box, or you are your approach to the world is changing based upon your day-to-day in some way. This is your day-to-day routines. This is how you organize yourself. You could also be publishing something to do with work, writing something, publishing something. sorting out legal matters to do with your job, signing a new contract, signing a new job contract, definitely possible. You know, getting more clients and yeah, signing contracts with things can definitely show up here. But there's a rethinking with the retrogrades in your sixth going back to your fifth around how you want to spend your time. So although this new beginning is brewing, you may understand any of the things I've just said. You may also have to wait until you know what this is going to look like over the next few months. And you guys got the 8 of Earth, and it actually jumped out onto my laptop. So this is a new beginning for a lot of you around how you make money, a new beginning at work, working with new clients, like I said, signing new contracts with clients. Maybe you're working with people from other countries, also possible. People of other cultures influencing your work in some way. And you're having a lot of energy now in your fifth house. It's all about what you're creating and what you're building and what you enjoy. So that's going to be really relevant towards kind of how you're spending your days. So Ace of Earth, I'm going to read you the positive affirmation if I can find the page. Oh, blimey. Okay, prosperity in its purest form, concrete results in the physical world, and abundance made manifest. I recognize the many forms of abundance and plenty, and I align myself with success. I can generate gold from the resources I have at my fingertips. I make an impact. The essence of prosperity is taking form in the material world. So that's really promising. Whatever you're starting now, it's going to really kind of benefit you in some way. Just make sure you're looking after your health as well, because you don't want to be prone to burnout. So when we have things show up in the sixth house, we have to make sure that we're kind of looking after our physical health. So Scorpio, let me know how this is showing up for you, if you know what it is already, and let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. You are experiencing a new moon solar eclipse in your fifth house. This is a powerful new beginning, a karmic new beginning for you around. For some of you, your love life, your romance. This is a time where something is starting that's new, but it can also be changes, because eclipses do bring endings. So although it's a new moon, it can be letting go of a relationship because something that's not aligned, or a new beginning for you in an existing relationship in some way. What has happened over the past 2 years, because this is the final eclipse in Aries in this cycle, you've had a lot going on in your fourth house as well. So for some of you, there's going to be significant changes within your home, and this is impacting your love life, or vice versa. Your love life and your home are connected in some way. You can meet somebody very, very karmic. You can meet a karmic relationship around this time, somebody that was always meant to come into your life to teach you something that you've already agreed karmically to experience. Now, if you have anything from 7 to 11 degrees of Aries, you'll feel this more strongly. Now, this sign does trine you, so generally it's a more positive sign for you. However, it is an eclipse, and eclipses do bring significant changes. The fifth house is also children, creativity. It's what we enjoy and what we are creating. It's all about you. This is your ego. So therefore your business can show up here. Like, what is it that you're creating in your business? So for some of you, there's a big new change in your business. You're creating something, or you're starting to create something that you are going to, make money from potentially. Changes to your current business can also happen here. Shifts to your current business, because the fifth house is what you are working on. Now, the ruler of this is Mars, and it's in the 8th house. So going back to the love life thing, there can be a new beginning for your partner in terms of your intimacy, or in terms of your joint finances. So something new for you and your romantic partner, and money. Something big, something shifting. And with the square from Mars to Chiron, it might be something that's a bit uncomfortable in some way. It could be that you're having to buy a house, you're having to sell a house, sell property, something like that, or paying off joint finances. Something can be coming up with you and a romantic partner. This is also, like I said, the house of children. So a significant shift in your child's life, a significant new beginning coming in your child's life, and it's to do with their joint finances or their own personal transformation. And that's going to unfold. When we have eclipses in the fifth house, sometimes it's not even about us. It's about other people, and your 5th house is your children. So for some of you, it could be a pregnancy. The 8th house is conception, so conceiving under this could be relevant. Giving birth can be possible, or a significant event in your child's life, like I said. The 5th house is also what we enjoy. So there's really is a shift here around what you are doing for fun. What do you do for fun? There's a new beginning here for you. And it could be something that is taboo, you know, a new hobby involving tarot or witchcraft or mediumship or ghost hunting. You know, you're starting something new, something fun, something brand new, because it's Aries, involving divination in some way is also possible. So big shifts coming. You might already know what this is, but if you can't feel this, it might be more subtle, and you might see things unfold over the next 6 months. So things unfold in your child's life, things unfold in your love life, meeting an important partner. It's the house of romance, it's the house of love, it's the house of sex. So shifts happening here in some way. And there's been a retrograde. So there has been a rethinking process around what you value, working something out with a child, or working something out that you've been creating and working on, often to do with joint resources or somebody's transformation. Okay, you guys get the 5 of Earth. So 5s are all about being a bit stuck and having to work through something, but Earth is about your resources, your money. So again, with the joint resources, it's, well, I'll read the positive affirmation for you. So it says alternative forms of abundance, the illusion of lack and overlooked treasures. So it's kind of speaking towards, if you're losing money right now, or there's things going on with money and what you're creating, you're being encouraged towards knowing that you are abundant regardless of how much money you have in the bank. All is not as it seems, so this is a time to look again. A change in perception can bring into focus the results I sought, just in a different form than expected. I am called to move away from poverty consciousness and open my eyes to treasures before me that are suddenly illuminated. The illusion of wealth gives way to true abundance. There is no need to fear that the rug will be pulled out from underneath me. What we draw attention to grows. So I count my blessings and realize I have far more than I thought. I have come far in my quest for building up what I need, and even more opportunities for experiencing abundance await. So there's definitely a financial tie here with a lot of you, to do with either your children or your romantic partner in some way, but it's encouraging you that try and not focus on the negative, try and focus on the positive, because obviously we manifest what we focus on, and just know that all is well and everything is working out for you and everything is happening as it should. So let me know, Sagittarius, how is this, you know, what does this mean for you? How is this showing up for you? What's happening in your life? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you are experiencing this solar eclipse, this new moon in your 4th house. This is your family. This is your home. This is a significant new beginning in either your family's life or where you live, or your real inner emotional world in some way. So Aries is all about new beginnings. It's a fresh start. And this, although it might not happen straight away, there's a new beginning here for you in some sense, and it's directly tying in significant others. So for some of you, this can be you are moving in with a partner, or a partner's moving in with you, or there's a change in your home connected to a child or someone significant in your life, a family member, a new beginning for an important family member in your life. If it's not a new beginning in your life, then something is happening in other people's lives that's important. Now, this can be changes within your home in terms of renovations. It can be changes within your home in terms of, you know, who lives in your house. Does a lodger live here? Is a lodger moving out? Is a lodger moving in? Who do you live with? Because there's been a rethinking process around where you live or your home, or visiting old family members, or reconnecting with family with these retrogrades, going back over photos, rethinking a nostalgic energy with Venus and Mercury retrograding here. But the new beginning is now going to unfold over the next 6 months. What's happened in your home over the past 2 years, your home and living situation, how has it changed? because this can be an ending. Even though it's a new beginning, it can also be part of the story of the last 2 years. Where have you lived? What has been going on? Have you moved around a lot, or have you been having to sort stuff out in your home? Because the new beginning is going to be the start of something that's going to unfold, but it is going to involve a significant other person in your life. Like I said, it could be a child, it could be a romantic partner, moving in, moving out, a family member, but it's something that's going to be important. Now, the fourth house is also our emotions, so this can be a really emotional new moon for you. Things that go on behind closed doors happen in the fourth house, things that no one really knows. It's a very secret house, and it's also a house where we do heal and we do let stuff go. So you could be working on something with a partner, working on healing something with a partner, or letting something go on an emotional level as well. That is also possible. Now, obviously the retrogrades have moved back into your third, so there is an element of, for some of you, about community or neighborhood or communication with a partner that you're working through. And so over the next few months, these things are going to be relevant in some way. And you are going to have Saturn and Neptune move into your fourth house. So there's going to be some seriousness and changes and big new beginnings within your home or your family this year, but also especially next year when Saturn and Neptune fully move in to your fourth house. So big changes coming for your home and your living situation. This isn't just like small changes. This is like, you know, some of you will be having a baby, some of you will be moving, a lot of you will be moving house, a lot of you may be renovating, or there's just changes coming within your home environment, significant changes. And this is kind of the last bit of the kind of nudge towards that before Saturn and Neptune move in. So you guys get the Four of Fire. Okay, so this is all about creating something, thinking creatively. Maybe some of you are planning something exciting. So Four of Fire is a new creative phase, celebration, pleasure, and harmony in relationships. Dancers have partners, singers have musicians, helping them create sweet music, and I find others who are in sync with me and my desires. It's a time for celebrating friendship and all that others bring to my life. A time for revelry and relishing the pleasures of being in good company. Making magic together with others is the focus at this time. So that is a really positive card, suggesting that, you know, maybe maybe the new beginning for you in terms of your home and family is getting on better with family members, or working through some matters after this retrograde process in your third house. So that's exciting. So Capricorn, let me know what's going on for you in terms of your home and your family, and I will see you in the next video. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. So this new moon solar eclipse is happening in Aries in your third house. The third house is one of the information houses. This is the house of technology, social media, how we connect, how we communicate. This is the house of relatives and siblings. And it's also who we speak to on a day-to-day. So this is our community. It's doctors, it's bus drivers, it's people at the checkout. So, and it's also finding yourself in communities more. So what's been going on for you in this house for the past 2 years? What changes have you experienced? And how have you been catapulted towards new connections, new communities within your neighborhood? Because this is the last eclipse in Aries. It's a new beginning. So it's nudging you even further towards your destiny, as the North Node is now in Pisces and we're wrapping up eclipses in Aries, but you are having one last chance to start something new here. So for some of you, this is a new beginning for social media. So it can be because the Mars rules this and it's in your sixth house of your work. So for some of you, you're starting something like on social media or with writing or communicating. So this is blogging, journaling, journalism, anything to do with communication on laptops, phones, gadgets, all of that kind of stuff, but it's probably to do with your work. So a new significant beginning for you. Maybe you're studying something for work. You're learning something new for your work. You're learning something about your health. You are connecting with people to do with health matters, a new gym, a new yoga class, you know, connecting within your community directly related to your health is also possible. But it's a significant new beginning, and it's an important new beginning. So being encouraged into community projects, community environments, but it's directly linked to your work or your health. So for example, it could be that you are connecting more with like-minded, if you're a hairdresser, connecting with like-minded hairdressers. Changing up your routines and your schedules can kind of come under the third house, because it's everything that you organize, and this is the house of our routines as well. So the new beginning for your schedule. So it could be you're reorganizing the way that you work, the days that you work, how people can book your work. So do you have a new booking system? Can people book on your website? Do people have to book through DMing you? All of that kind of stuff can show up here. What you're reading, so podcasts, books, being encouraged towards different forms of taking on information can definitely show up here. A new significant new beginning in a relative or sibling's life is possible. Mars is in Cancer, so family stuff can be tied in. So big shifts in relatives, families' lives. This could also be like a new way of getting to work, so like a new car because you have to drive to work, or new forms of transportation in some way. New neighbors, or a new community. Maybe you're moving, and therefore you are within a new community. But big shifts and changes within your neighborhood is also possible as well. So Aquarius, this is a busy house. This is like how we're speaking, how we're connecting, getting involved, speaking to neighbors over the fence. All of that kind of stuff can show up here. So what's been going on for you? Let me know in the comments. Have you seen this showing up? You guys get the 8 of Fire, another creative card. So the third house is how we think as well. So a new beginning around your thoughts or your mental health in some way can also show up here. Maybe your routines around thinking. That sounds a bit weird. So maybe like what you're consuming, or how you're working on your mental health directly impacting your physical health, or you're working on your self-care in terms of mental processes. So you're reading something that's going to benefit your physical health. That kind of stuff can show up as well. So, like you're reading a new health cookbook, or you're joining a new app to give you a workout schedule, that kind of stuff. 8 of Fire is what we had. Gathering momentum, celebrating swift changes, travel and transformation. This is the house of travel. So also lots of local trips can also be possible. So, going to a local city, traveling around, you'll find more of that happening in this house. So momentum is building as the power of spirit serves to power this transformation. I am traveling to new territories, and I'm eager to experience all that these lands have to offer. I have arrived at my destination, and now the adventure of discovery is energizing me. So that's quite an exciting card. So let me know, Aquarius, what's been going on for you? Have you been busy? Are you learning? Are you studying? Are you connecting? Let me know in the comments how you think this eclipse is playing out for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising, last but certainly not least, you are wrapping up a cycle of eclipses in Aries in your second house, but there is a new beginning here for you. Sorry, I have such dry mouth. Okay, so Aries is something new. This is happening in your second house of your finances, your values, and your self-worth. The ruler is in your 5th house, which is about what you're creating, your romance, your joy, and children. So something new is starting here in terms of your finances. And this might not be happening straight away. It can unfold over the next 6 months, but a new beginning around financial matters. So a new money coming to you, a new way of making money. Maybe you are changing jobs. Maybe you're starting your own business, and therefore you are earning money from it. But there's going to be a significant and an important shift in your money in some way. You could get a pay rise. You could be spending money on children. You could be spending money on your romantic partner. You could be helping your romantic partner with money. Maybe you're paying something off for them, or you are treating them to something because of some money that you've come into. This is, big shifts in what you're worth. Aries is about taking bold action. and being brave and just being impulsive. So it could be impulsive spending, but it could also be, you know, a significant new beginning around what you're worth. And actually, maybe all of these eclipses that are going to be happening in Pisces and Saturn in your first house, maybe you're really kind of working on your personal development and starting to think about what it is that you're worth. So it could be that you're going to your boss and you're saying, look, I'm worth more than this. I want a pay rise. And so there's going to be a big shift, and it's based upon how you value yourself. Now, the second house is also your possessions. So a new beginning here in terms of your possessions, what you're buying, shifts around what you're spending, possession, you know, purchasing something for, again, for children, purchasing something for a partner, spending money on something that you enjoy and spending money on having fun. But because it's an eclipse, it's a really important new beginning around your finances. And if you have anything between 7 and 11 degrees of Aries, or any of the cardinal signs, then this will be more relevant for you, and you'll feel it more strongly. But others, this will be a subtle development in your finances in some way. Now, remember to try and make sure that you're always valuing yourself, Pisces, because you do have a tendency to put yourself down and not value yourself highly enough. So maybe this eclipse is about really taking bold action and like I said, saying, no, this is what I'm worth, and this is what I want to charge. This is what I want to charge, especially if you run your own business. But if you run your own business, it's definitely going to look like putting your prices up. If you don't run your own business, then it could be there's a connection between your partner's money or spending money on children, significant money stuff happening with children in some way. Now, you guys get the Queen of Fire. I love this card for you. You're creating something new. Something is being created, and you need to, you know, believe in yourself. So I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. If I can find the card. So it says creative collaborations, soul connections, passion inspired by spirit, and artist. I am capable of strong friendships that inspire me and encourage me to express myself in my own way. I co-create with others, dedication to a vision of achieving the highest good of all. So how might I join in the dance of co-creation, letting spirit flow through me and inspire me to express my passions? So this is the house of passions. This is also the house of taking risks. So like gambling. So some of you, if you're gambling, you can feel yourself come into some money, possibly. Or yeah, what you're creating is definitely tied into money in some way, and you're being encouraged to collaborate with other people in some sense. Creative collaboration, so collaborating with others, and therefore those are paying off in some way. So let me know, Pisces, if that resonates. Can you see any shifts in your finances coming? And they can be shifts, you know, if you've had a baby recently, then obviously that's going to be a shift in your finances because you've had a baby. All of that stuff can kind of show up with children. But this new beginning is going to be the last one in your finances. And then you're really being, the North Node is in your sign, and you're really focusing on yourself over the next 2 years, basically, and you're being pushed towards your destiny. But with the retrogrades happening in your second house at the moment, there is this element of working through possessions or working out your finances or rethinking around how you make money. For some of you, there's been a reworking something, or having to sort something out in terms of what you value and the finances that you are, you know, things that you are spending money on, and the money coming in. So there's been a reworking, and then this new beginning is going to come in. So maybe you've worked something out under the retrogrades, and over the next 6 months, money is going to change for you in some way. So yes, let me know how this is relevant. I hope that's been helpful. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you got some value from this, please, and drop me a comment because it helps the algorithm in some way. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content from me. And remember that I do personal readings for all budgets. Take a look at the information on my page. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.